What's going on, everybody? Hilton, Tammy, Maverick, Marcos, this is MEG Money. Some usual names. Just wanted to go live here real quick and go over a few things. What's up, Leon? My charting software, for some reason, is not working at my desk. It's working behind me on my YouTube computer. So I'll just give a few comments about it because obviously I'm aware of how some of the charts look and a few things I've been doing. So let's wait a minute, see if we get a few more people in here. I mean, we're sitting here at Bitcoin 52.36. Yeah, I don't mute my mic while I'm waiting that 2 minutes, I guess. So I'm not on here that much. I was going to go live more with the software working better, but Mark's been kind of quiet. Nick's been busy at work still, so we're doing a live broadcast for Patreon and Discord members tomorrow night, I think. So that's kind of why I wanted to jump in here. And any big movement tomorrow, I might jump in by myself during the day. And then otherwise, like I say, tomorrow night, Patreon month-end live broadcast for them. And then hopefully Wednesday, Thursday, back here. Now, I've tweeted a couple things. I don't really have much new to add because we were about 52.36 when we signed off last Thursday, I believe, after the Tether news. So we had a big run to 55.20 or so, which I thought was impressive. And then we've retraced the majority of it, which I didn't really think that would happen. Glad to hear that, Leon. Sold a course today. We'll go over that next time. I forget the gentleman's name. I do know the last name, but shout out to another course student. I think obviously the Wyckoff course is what I think is the best thing to have to help navigate these markets, and a little bit of help from the software. So one thing I wanted to go over again, I posted this on Twitter and Discord. Let me, once again, this is the long shorts in Bitcoin. So this is a 4-hour chart. So this takes us back to the low at 3,100. You can see here that really most of this year shorts is kind of down here at these lower levels, and it has increased now dramatically really just since we came sideways from 5,000. So shorts are coming in. The green line down here is longs. You can see the longs have continued to trend down. So with longs trending down, shorts basically trending higher, not at major levels like back here at the lows, but still trending higher. Then the net of that is this blue gold line. So you can see we're back down here to low levels. So I think that supports some type of further rally. So, shorts have got to cover here at some point like they did in Litecoin. And the longs got to chase this thing back. I mean, the longs have totally given up. I think everyone thinks that 5,800 was major resistance and we never get through it. I think if we turn higher here, you're going to see a rush again. And I'll hear with you, Razel, I kind of agree with that. I mean, I've always been the one we got to be covering more markets. But it did help me with Litecoin on the way up. So again, that's not the reason I would be long here. It's just another confirming tool that I think makes sense. It definitely would show the sentiment of Bitfinex that if they're over there decreasing their longs, that's happening in other markets as well. But more importantly then, let's see if I can get that chart to look right. I mean, these are still the buys we've had off the software. So I really, this is an Elliott Wave buy. The software didn't give me that because there was no selling on the volume. I did put that in there because I thought this was a triangle ending. The software did give me a buy up here because we did have some volume selling here when this came back and tried to kiss the downtrend line. So those are the buys from the software. I've not had a sell. Uh, Gotten close. The reason we haven't had that is volume has not chased any rally to give me an overbought reading on volume. So it's just been a nice sustained rally. I think, some short covering on the way up and some longs, but no one really chasing it. So I've not been able to get a sell signal. And I still think I've deleted some of these because this one's still on here. So this is still, I think we're still subdividing higher somehow, some way. The tether news, I think, screws up some Elliott wave counts. So I don't know if we're still in a wave 4 here. We're still in a triangle. I do think somehow, some way that whether this could have been a correction ending. This was 5 waves up, so now we're in a sideways. So this might be ABC down, ABC up, move sideways. We could still go down, spike a little bit lower and scare everybody. The reason I shied away from that is I do have some decent readings in like Neo with some people with some cash. I did pick some up at what was it, 962, right around in here. We had that ride at about 5 in the morning. I saw it at 10:30, 10:40, and just didn't take it. And we came back down to my buy point again. But I think Neo's had a pretty big correction, so I think that one's ready to dig in. Ripple, did a little bit of buying on that at 0.307, I believe. Again, back in here, we did have the spring down. I picked up maybe a little bit at 0.29, 0.295. This one has been weaker, as I've talked about, so normally not one you want to jump on. But this could have had a little shakeout here spring. Volume didn't come in heavy. We came off that low quickly, so I still think Ripple might surprise us here to the upside. Ethereum, once again, could look a little bit more like an ABC down, so maybe we're making a low here. Bitcoin's hard to read because Bitcoin has been leading the rally, really, because I think it's under-owned. So again, I'm thinking maybe some of these other coins are making lows, which means Bitcoin somehow, some way, you've got to figure out how we're headed higher. I'm not going to get caught up on the Elliott wave count. If Elliott wave was that easy, we'd all be rich. So, it's easy to jump around, change labelings, etc. I kind of try to use the labelings to talk about how we went, how we rallied, and what could be next, but definitely not just trading off of Elliott wave patterns. I think that'll get you in trouble. And the only thing I'm really not happy about is Litecoin. I didn't see really Litecoin getting this deep. Obviously now it looks like we're doing some type of ending diagonal here and could reverse higher quickly. I thought that really up here even a few dollars higher. There's no volume coming in, so I still think Litecoin could have a recovery bounce up into the 86, 89 level maybe, while Bitcoin explodes higher. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Last time we was live, I mentioned BAT. We were down here doing this spring at 0.385, and I said I thought you could buy it for a rally to 45. Back up here to test this high. I did tweet that as we were approaching that here yesterday, that maybe it was acting so well, I think I'd stay with it since I think Bitcoin is still going to go higher. So if you did buy a BAT, you got a small profit. I think I'd stay with it. BNB USDT 21.71, holding in nicely. That's another one. That's definitely been a bull market, like BAT has been. So I think that one probably working on a fourth wave here, still goes higher. And then another one I've been looking at. ICX down 7%. That's one's a little weaker here. I wish we didn't have it pulling back here, but not really hurting anything considering the weakness in a lot of these coins. KMD had a quick run to 107. Kind of put in a little bit of a spring and a test possibly, so I still think that one could work higher. James, let's go back to ADA USDT. I mean, you're right, it looks a little bit more like Neo. I would just expect support here. Somewhere here, I think we dig in here with everything else and work higher. So I'm still friendly. Bitcoin 5236. I don't really think there's any news items. Nothing major to talk about. If we go to Learn Crypto to the blog that Carrie keeps updated, I don't know. Her niece is in town, so maybe not as much on here. Institutional love for crypto confirms Bitcoin isn't a bubble. I'd agree with that. E-Trade's close to launching cryptocurrency trading. That's been in the news. Them and TD Waterhouse. Makes it easier for everybody to buy cryptos. So check in there once in a while for articles if you want. And also at the top, the Patreon to get to our Patreon, $30 a month. Nick's in there giving a lot of information. I give some trades, some stock trades. And we got, about 53 people over there now, a good group of people. So if you want to join that, or I think here on down the road when these markets really heat up, that's going to be a great place to be. So keep that in mind. So the other night I said BAT would be one that I'd stay on. So again, that's giving you a little bit of profit. And I think maybe tonight, I really like the way Neo's acting. So maybe Neo is one, if you got a few dollars, put something to work tonight, maybe jump on that. IOTA is one that we have not talked about in a while. Mostly because of the weakness. Discouraging it didn't do better here in March and April when everything else rallied. And the chart by itself, it does look like maybe we sprung this area. We did have some volume come in and reversed it. So possibly a coin like this will gather steam and lead us higher. So considering the strength here today, I don't think it wouldn't bother me to buy that and trail a stop at this low or trail a stop here at the 0.256 or something. See if that one can come alive. What's up, Craig? And if you think it's all because of news, maybe you don't want to chase IOTA, but the chart hasn't been very well. Normally we want to chase strength, not weakness. And that's definitely been one that was a lot higher at the bull market highs. So guys, that's only a quick 15 minutes. I want to jump on here. Jumped on for Clifford, and I don't think Clifford's in here, so he's going to have to watch the replay. If you got any other stocks we could look at, like I said, my software, for some reason on this computer, I had the big internet issues. It's not working here, but it's working behind me. So I've got a lot of charts that I've saved and brought up. I wasn't going to go live tonight, and I decided I better jump on here. Don't want to leave everybody hanging. AION USD down 5%. I mean, definitely you saw big volume coming in here off the lows for a sign of strength or a jump. You've got a really low volume here. So AION definitely could be one that could get going now. Selling climax, automatic rally, secondary test, up thrust, some sideways, volume, falling off, sign of strength. So that one could get interesting here. Here's WAN BTC. Not much to look at there. Let's go to WAN USD. I mean, not quite as pretty. I mean, a little bit like AION, a little weaker. Some volume did come in here on this rally. So hasn't hurt anything here. but you wouldn't need very wide of a stop to see this thing can turn here. So entry price for Disney would have been 3 months ago. I did some buys at 98, I think it was. I mean, this was I thought accumulation on Disney, but this correction here late in the year when the markets fell apart got a little deep for me. I was buying some. I guess I bought some down here at this LPS at 103, and I own some also from 110, 111. So up here at 140, much better. But that one has definitely put it into high gear. So I think that's probably one that leads us. And then while we're here, let's talk about Square. That's one I mentioned Friday. I gave this to pro traders and also threw it in the Discord. We did finally have a buy here on the technometer, and that was 36.76 on the technometer. I didn't really jump on that because we'd broken the uptrend line, and I was a little bit worried because this was a stock that was not acting well with the NASDAQ doing well. And then I got more interested here Friday when you had the big sell-off on low volume, and I thought that was probably a test compared to this level over here. So I did give a buy at 71, I think it was right, 71.29. So, but I've also said probably raise your stop now to the low here of today, 71.50. I really don't think it's good. It needs to pull back. So it might be a quick in and out. I don't want to risk much here because of Square being weak here in the last few months when it's really led the rally. So hasn't done as well. And while we're here, let's do Shopify. That's one that I own some of, but had a quick short-term trade for pro traders, but that's one that continues higher. I do have that in Schwab accounts as a buy and hold. So I like Shopify. I mentioned that a few times. I like their business model. I know people that's got Shopify business websites, and it's done incredible business for their a lot of traffic for their business. So I think Shopify is still good if you want something high risk. I'm still on TLT. That one's been a little bit more disappointing. Today was not cool. I mentioned we were getting up to overbought and I wanted it to hold in. Today wasn't not cool. I mean, you could count 5 waves up, so maybe we'll ABC here and then continue higher. So I'm still along with the stop down here at these lows. And UUP, have been short, took a profit, small losses. This is one, once again, I still think the UUP will top out, but it continues to make new highs. Today might have been the start of something. We're overbought. I might try to short that again. I still think the UUP, the US dollar, is going to turn lower, going to help cryptos. And the stock market still has risk on, which I think helps crypto. So I think cryptos can still catch up here. Tesla, one that I wanted to like, but it did get weak here, except for today. I think the news was today a major short seller came out and put a 50% higher price target on it. I was watching what I thought was maybe accumulation, but I wanted these lows to hold, so we're major oversold down here. No selling coming in on the volume, so there again, I'm not really into buying weakness. That's one that has performed horribly in front of a good market. Because here's the power shares QQQ. So there's a NASDAQ you can see continuing to hit new highs. Then our WWG Wyckoff Wave Growth Index, same thing, hitting new highs. It is overbought, but it could have a pullback, 50% retracement possibly, which is probably still what I'm looking for. So guys, that's all I got at the moment. 54 people watching. Appreciate it, Cowboy, Nippon Cowboy. Like I said, Nick been busy at work with no big action. It takes him about 3 hours out of his day to go live, so I told him not worry about it. I'd hold it down. Tomorrow night we're live. I'm just about sure we're going to be live for just the Patreon Discord people, and then him and I will be back here Wednesday, Thursday for our usual updates. Any big action, I will try to jump on and give my 2 cents. Bitcoin 52.36, not much going on. I'm going to run my disclaimer here real quick to keep my regulators happy. I did get audited 6 weeks ago, so give me 1 second.
There is a high degree of risk involved in trading cryptocurrencies. Our thoughts and ideas are for entertainment purposes only. Please consult your personal advisor or do your own research. Past results are not indicative of future returns.
What's up, Crypto 420? If you want any help on the stocks, I do business through Schwab. You have to be through Charles Schwab. My fee's kind of negotiable, mattering what you want to do. If you're kind of involved, I'd cut you a low fee. If you're not involved, then I'd probably charge my normal fee. I'm still opening up some PCG accounts in the last few weeks. So I think people are getting back to a little more friendly with these things. Maybe thinking the low is in. So I do agree with that. I think at some point here when everybody, I guess if I had my wishes, maybe Bitcoin keep this rally going to 6,200, 7,000. Then at some point we're going to want to take some profits and look for a ABC pullback. I've got a disclaimer in the front at the written one, but they want a verbal one as too. So I kind of try to run both. When you start talking about returns and buys and sells, since I am registered, they get all over me. So guys, that's all I got. Once again, if you got a little bit of money laying around, maybe NEO, XRP maybe down here, finally maybe ready to go. Ethereum I think could do well. Litecoin will bounce. And Bitcoin is still the top dog. Bitcoin, as you can tell by the charts, Bitcoin is holding up much nicer. I think if it wasn't for the Tether news, you'd see us even higher. So Bitcoin's still the one that's going to lead us higher, I think. So that's all I got, guys. I will catch you tomorrow sometime. Peace out, Hilton, James, Maverick.
Good afternoon. My name is Richard D. Wyckoff. Anyone who is interested in the stock, option, or commodity markets is most likely to find my life and teachings to be of great interest and value. I was born November 2nd, 1873. At the age of 15, I had my first job as a stockbroker on Wall Street, and by age 25, I had opened my first brokerage firm. I was one of the pioneers in the study of the tape and included volume studies in all my market operations. This volume and its intraday studies is what set me apart from the rest of the market gurus. There was a point that my buy and sell following was so big that it became a powerful part of the daily market. It was at this time that I became known as one of the titans of technical analysis. But all along, my lifelong endeavor was to pass on my accumulated wisdom to others. With that in mind, in 1907, I created the Magazine of Wall Street. At its height, the Magazine of Wall Street had over 200,000 subscribers. That's over 200,000 investors who wanted my thoughts on the current market conditions and trends. Finally, in 1931, I decided to take all my knowledge that I had learned about the stock market and create the Richard D. Wyckoff course of stock market science and technique. I was able to create something that established a new standard of practice in the public stock market operations. I did not claim any monopoly of stock market knowledge, but up to that time, no one else seemed willing to be so frank in offering to the public the most intimate knowledge of the inner workings of the stock market. The good news is that even though I created the Wyckoff stock market course back in 1931, the course has been maintained and updated throughout the years and is available to you today. Over 90 years later, my course is still available for investors and traders that want to learn the secrets to the stock market and can be found right now at wyckoffsmi.com.